SpaceX's Starship could very well become the world's most advanced garbage truck. CEO Elon Musk recently openly claimed via his Twitter account that the firm's under-development rocket will play a prominent role in clearing up the Earth's orbit. Starship, which is primarily designed for the purpose of launching crew and cargo into space for SpaceX, could potentially use the fairing door that protects cargo to also collect up debris. Don't forget to watch today's video to the very end to get the complete scoop on this important news report. A step in the clean direction. Yes, we can fly Starship around space and chomp up debris with the moving fairing door, Musk wrote on July 3. It's a feature that could solve one of the biggest concerns around humanity's future in space. What do we do with all that debris floating around? Details on Musk's proposal are thin, but it would seem to involve using the protective fairing at the top of the Starship. First unveiled in 2017 under the name BFR, the ship is a fully reusable rocket designed to send around 100 people to space at a time. It's designed to take over satellite launches from existing rockets like the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, while also enabling more ambitious missions like a crewed trip to Mars. During the CEO's 2017 presentation, Musk showed that the payload area would have a pressurized volume of 825 cubic meters in its crew configuration, larger than an Airbus A380 aircraft. The Starship user guide shows how, in its cargo configuration, the fairing flips open to deploy its payload. The guide also outlines the ship's ability to capture objects in space and bring them to Earth. With a fully reusable Starship, satellites can be captured and repaired in orbit, returned to Earth, or transferred to a new operational orbit. In short, capturing debris is something Starship may be able to do. According to Musk, you could think of the ship as a giant Pac-Man, flying around in space and eating up satellites, instead of cherries and ghosts. SpaceX's gradual progression. SpaceX has gradually improved its Starship prototypes, sending the SN-15 model to a height of 32,800 feet in May 2021. The ship's first flight to orbit is expected later this year, assuming it all goes to plan. SpaceX has big plans with its new rocket. A crewed flight around the moon with Japanese billionaire Yusaku Nozawa is scheduled for 2023, while Musk is aiming to establish a full-blown city on Mars by 2050. It's not the first time that SpaceX has suggested using the Starship to clean up space. In an October 2020 interview with Time, company president Gwynne Shotwell said that it's quite possible that we could leverage Starship to go to some of these dead rocket bodies. Other people's rockets, of course. Basically, go pick up some of this junk in outer space. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. But I do believe that Starship offers the possibility of going and doing that, Shotwell said. Dreams of landing Mars. When it comes to ambitious plans, Musk and Shotwell are very much in sync. In April 2018, discussing the firm's goal to reach Mars and start a city, Shotwell described Mars as fine, but added that it's the first step toward reaching even more planets. Musk has long believed that humankind should exist on more than one planet, and that we should start soon. Musk intends to make a leap in that direction with this Starship, which is basically a reusable spaceship and rocket system that he hopes will redefine travel, first by jetting from continent to continent, then from Earth to the Moon, and finally from Earth to Mars. At a glance, this plan sounds like the kind of idealistic dream you'd expect from a wealthy entrepreneur who is often compared, without irony, to a comic book hero. Or maybe, depending on your view of Musk, a self-aggrandizing fantasy from one of the most trollish, publicly chaotic figures of our time. But the fantasy is swiftly crystallizing into a feasible reality. The South Texas shipyard is churning at all hours. A Starship prototype finally stuck its landing last night, without bursting into flames minutes later, and the world's top space agency believes in the effort too. NASA's faith in SpaceX. NASA has given SpaceX a $2.9 billion contract to develop a version of Starship to land American astronauts on the surface of the Moon for the first time since the Apollo program. Jeff Bezos' rocket company, Blue Origin, which partnered with a few longtime NASA contractors to bid on the same job, has formally challenged NASA over its decision to choose a single contractor. The agency has put the contract on hold for the time being, but it appears that the next visitors to the Moon, including NASA has promised the first woman in person of color, could be flying SpaceX. America has now tied one of its biggest space dreams to SpaceX, which means the country has tied it to Elon Musk, the company's CEO and chief engineer. To build Starship, the billionaire has overhauled Boca Chica into his private Kit Canaveral and has started referring to the area as Starbase. He has mocked Bezos and other competitors. He has chafed at federal oversight. He has also made Boca Chica the one place on Earth where the dream of getting to Mars feels most real. The Starship work that SpaceX is doing now, if it pans out, will be the company's most impressive achievement. More impressive than landing rocket boosters upright on a ship in the ocean. More impressive than enveloping the planet in a bubble of hundreds of internet satellites. More impressive than launching astronauts to the International Space Station and bringing them home safely. A far-sighted and aspiring man. Musk says that Starship could land people on the moon in 2024 and take them to Mars within the decade. He is famous for his aspirational and usually unrealistic timelines, but the Starship project could bring humankind closer than it has been in 50 years to reaching another world again. If the idea of SpaceX sending people to the moon, let alone Mars, seemed like an abstraction a decade ago, then a decade from now, it might seem like a given. 20 years ago, if people were familiar with Elon Musk, they knew him as the nerdy powerhouse behind a couple of internet companies, Zip2, a software company that was eventually folded into the Alta Vista search engine, and X.com, an online bank that eventually merged with PayPal. In 2002, after the entrepreneur from South Africa had sold off one business and left the other, a friend asked what he wanted to do next. Space exploration, Musk said he'd always been interested in that. Born in 1971, the year of the third moon landing, Musk assumed that NASA had a plan to reach Mars, and soon. When he went searching for a schedule on NASA's website, he told Wired in 2012 he found that the agency had no plans nor a big enough budget for an Apollo-style rush to reach the red planet. At first, I thought, geez, maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place. Why was there no plan, no schedule? Musk said in the interview. There was nothing. Solar system within reach. There had been a moment after the moon landings when the rest of the solar system had suddenly felt within reach, Mars especially. Even some of the Apollo astronauts had thought so and had held out hope for a Mars mission. Instead, they became the last people to travel beyond low Earth orbit. In the decades that followed, a wonderful assortment of space probes ventured into the solar system, to Mars and Saturn and Pluto. But human beings remained close to home, flying shuttles and building space stations. Musk decided that he would rally some support for a Mars shot, perhaps a small greenhouse on the red planet's surface. A beautiful juxtaposition of terrestrial life and an alien world would capture the public's attention. But when he looked into rocket launches, he was surprised by their steep price tags. Surely someone had figured out how to make space travel cheaper by now. Oh well, the Starship's journey. November 2018, BFR, first announced in September 2017, gets renamed to Starship. December 2018, Musk confirms the new ship has switched to stainless steel. January 2019, shortened Starhopper prototype unveiled and Musk explains the switch to steel. February 2019, Raptor engine beats a long-standing rocket record. April 2019, Starhopper completes a tethered hop. July 2019, Starhopper launches 20 meters, 67 feet. August 2019, Starhopper launches 150 meters, 500 feet. September 2019, Starship Mk.1 full-size prototype unveiled. May 2020, Starship SN4 full-size prototype completes a static test fire. August 2020, SN5 launches 150 meters, 500 feet. October 2020, SN8 completes the first triple Raptor static fire. December 2020, SN8 launches 12.5 kilometers, 41,000 feet, and crashes into the ground. February 2021, SN9 launches 10 kilometers, 33,000 feet, and crashes into the ground. March 2021, SN10 launches 10 kilometers, 33,000 feet, lands, and explodes 8 minutes later. That same month, SN11 launches 10 kilometers, 33,000 feet, and hits the ground in several pieces. May 2021, SN15 launches 10 kilometers, 33,000 feet, and lands without a hitch, except for a small fire at the base. With that, we come to the end of today's video. Don't forget to join in next time for more of such interesting content.